Hi everyone, welcome back. Today I wanted to have a bit of a moan, a bit of a talk about something which is discussed mostly in the area of chargers and how the charging companies are or are not doing the right thing for us. But I want to expand on that onto something that's been bugging me about the whole electric car issue, and are they inclusive of everybody, and are they for the masses or not? So on the charger side, hello Cracker. Yes, I know. Good boy. So on the chargers side, you've got the issue that what we like are chargers like Ingenie and Instavolt, where you go to the charger, you use your contactless debit card, you tap it on the machine, and it authorises or pays for what you need, and you just charge the car. What we don't want are these chargers with apps that you have to subscribe to and be a member of or pay a subscription to. Excuse me, Cracker. We don't want to have to use the internet, basically. So the issue that I want to talk about isn't particularly about the chargers, because yes, they're a problem, and there's the reason why I think they're wrong. Anyone that has a subscription model, or anyone that requires you to log on, create an account on the internet to be able to use the charger first, what they're doing is excluding people that don't have the internet. Now, I know we could say, but surely everyone has the internet now. Well, no. Not everyone has internet connectivity, not everyone has a smartphone, and not everyone has the ability to use those things to connect to a charger. It's all well and good that you could do those things in advance. You could have applied for an account, got an RFID card, somebody could have helped you do that. Well, that's fine for that one charger. So they've helped you do that, but when you go on a journey somewhere and you need to use a charger elsewhere, you've got to do it all over again. I want to give you the example of my mother. In her late 60s, she was able to drive. She was absolutely fine driving. She had a lovely little Toyota Yaris automatic, and she would drive anywhere she wanted, go shopping on her own, fill the car up with petrol. She was independent, and she was able to do it. She was able to buy petrol at a petrol station, use her contactless card, use a PIN number. She could do those things. She did not have the internet. She did not have a smartphone. She had a Doro big button phone, which for those that aren't aware of what it is, I'll put a picture up to show you what a Doro big button phone is. And she could barely use that. Now, that doesn't mean she wasn't able to drive and wasn't able to do things. When older people get to a point where they're not safe, yes, they should give up driving, in my opinion. And I did encourage my mum over many years to give up driving before she had an accident. But driving is an elder person's independence, and it's really hard to let go of those things. So to not have your independence just because it's an electric car and you don't know how to charge and you don't know how to pay for fuel and you can't find a charging station because you don't have a smartphone, all of those things, those are basically excluding some of the elder generation. Now, I'm not going to accuse all elderly people of not being internet savvy and not being able to use a smartphone, but a greater proportion of elderly people aren't able to use smartphones and the internet than younger people. So in my opinion, by charging companies not enabling you to use simple pay-as-you-go systems with just a tap of a contactless card or a chip and PIN number, then they are almost discriminating against older people, in my opinion. There's a segment of our population that will find it more difficult to travel and use a car if it has to be internet connected in some way, to have an account, to have a subscription, or to order an RFID card, or to actually connect and pay for your fuel. With that in mind, well, when a salesman sells an elder person an electric car, what they'll probably say is, oh no, you don't need a smartphone, because the car itself has sat-nav. And on the sat-nav are all the charging stations. So all you need to do is click this button here and it will give you a list of the charging stations. You click it and the sat-nav will take you to where that charger is. Now, that actually sounds good if it works. So in a moment we'll do a test and we'll see whether it does work. My opinion is that functionality is essential because we need to break the barrier that you have to have an internet connected phone to be able to find a charger. And yet an electric car is the perfect car for a more elderly person, isn't it? Because it's smoother to drive, it's easier to drive, there are typically more safety features in the car, it helps you drive in many ways. So I would almost say that the electric car is better suited for an elderly person. It's ideally suited. So to introduce the car without sufficient functionality to help that person be independent and maintain their independence is wrong. Why should electric cars be for only people that are internet savvy and have internet enabled phones with data and availability to do it? It's just not right. We want elderly people to drive, we want them to have their independence, and we also want them to go electric. So if that's the case, electric cars have to cater for it, and the charging infrastructure has to cater for it too. Let's have a go. Let's have a go at using the car sat-nav on my Kona Electric and see whether you can, without an internet connected phone, get to a charging point. So you should be able to find all the chargers you need from within your car without a smartphone, without using the internet, and everything should be fine. So let's have a go. I'm sat here with my sat-nav on, it's programmed to go somewhere, and if I press the little charging button here, that will load the charging stations that the car knows about. Now if I have a look through here, what we've got is the Co-op. Now that is a charger, yep, it's a slow charger in a Co-op car park, so I could go there. That's one. The Norwich Station car park, well, I'm not convinced that that's a good place to go and park to get charged because of the parking charges, etc. And obviously if you're out and about or you're on holiday here in Norfolk and you want to charge, car parks aren't the places to go. Notre Dame High School, well, that's not available for you to use, that's not a public charger. Chapelfield Shopping Centre, that's parking again, parking. Garages, well, Buzzies and Desiro, that's Ford and, I think that's Ford anyway, Buzzies, and Desiro is Nissan. Well, they always have their staff cars and their demonstrator cars parked in the bay, so pretty much it's unreliable in a car garage to get yourself charged up. So basically, if we look down, we've got these Harford Park and Rides. Well, again, Park and Rides, you have to go and park. And I think that's Polar at that one. So, you know, that's not ideal. Because, again, if you haven't got an app, haven't got a smartphone, haven't registered, you can't get them. And you can't tell from here which of these are just tap and go, pay and go. Basically, if I look through all of this, we're now 11 miles away. And not one of the rapid chargers in Norwich has been listed. Now, I'm aware there are 5 that come up on PlugShare, but the 2 Bannatyne gyms that have been there for over a year, from my understanding, they're not on this map. The Lidl charger as well, that's a rapid charger, that's not on this map. And there's a new Esso garage one, obviously it's new, that's not on the map. So all of the chargers that I would go to, the rapid chargers, none of them are on these maps with the Hyundai Kona at the moment. The charging stations is so far out of date, none of the chargers that I would actually choose to use are on there. The only ones that are on there are car garages and car parks. They're not the sort of places that you would want to go if you were, say, touring into Norwich and didn't want to park, just want to charge and then go. None of these are any good whatsoever. So for me, I find this disappointing that if you have an EV, let's say like this Kona Electric, and you're not familiar with the internet, you don't have a smartphone, how do you find chargers? It just seems as though there's an association. Electric cars, you have to be online, you have to be internet savvy, you have to have a smartphone. And that's wrong. It's something that needs to change because electric cars need to be inclusive. And we shouldn't associate a certain type of car or a certain type of public charger with only accessible to those people that have a working smartphone in the pocket with lots of data on their data plan. That's just not how it should be. And yeah, electric cars need up-to-date charging stations in the car so you don't have to use smartphones. So one of the things that I'll be doing is chasing Hyundai for a more up-to-date map and get not just the road maps but better charging station lists as well. Okay, I think I've made my point. Basically, I'm not happy about chargers and electric cars only being for people with an internet connection. And that's my thought, that's my opinion that I want to share with you. And yeah, from my test in my car, yes, if the maps are up to date, if the charging locations are up to date, that would be an essential feature of an electric car. But sadly, the charging points aren't up to date. The maps aren't up to date. Not by 6 months, not by a year, by even more. And that's not good enough. Hyundai, you need to do better. Out-of-date maps of something which is an essential part of the car, finding a charger, is something you've got to sort out. So sorry if that came across as a bit of a moan, a bit of a rant today, but it's something that does bother me and I wanted to share, and I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it's good information, good food for thought, especially if you're encouraging an elderly person to buy an electric car. Have a think about what they'd really need for their journeys. If they're just charging at home and then going out and coming back and they don't have to charge out, it's not a problem. But if they're going to go on holiday and do some touring around the country, they're not going to find a charger without a mobile phone with an internet connection. From what I can see so far. Let me know your thoughts. Do you have that sort of issue? Are you an elderly person that struggles? You tell me. Leave the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. Take care for now. It's great to see you. Great to have you on board. If you haven't subscribed already, don't forget there'll be an icon around here soon. Click that and you'll get notifications of more video content as it comes on soon. Take care again and see you soon. Bye-bye. If you haven't already seen it, check out this great video by EV Life UK about preparing your Kona for winter.